he holds the accreditation, does he, or do they just do it as a special?
He just absolutely loves baseball, and he's played and umpired and done stuff like that in the US. So he's like, he wanted to do it over here, so he's come down to the London game, and there was no paparazzi, there was nothing. It was all very quiet, you know, apart from the guys on our team from the Dominican Republic and Cuba who were screaming Jerry, Jerry as he came on, which was a little bit embarrassing, but you know, it was all good fun. And then afterwards, I approached him and said, look, next week we've got the Waltham Abbey festival where there's going to be 5,000 to 10,000 people over the weekend. We'd love it if you come down. And it gets better because our mayor, the new mayor of Waltham Abbey, is from Brooklyn, New York. Ricky Gadsby, her name is. And there's a place in Waltham Abbey, Firehouse Playgroup, who imported a fire truck that was used in 9/11. So they've got a fire truck in Waltham Abbey, and so we went and picked Jerry Springer up. He agreed to it. He cancelled meetings to be down there, and he came over to the field with Ricky Gadsby on the back of this American fire truck, and we had everyone. I mean, there was media down there. I was interviewed on the radio as well about it. I mean, it was so much interest was there. It was absolutely incredible, and you know, it was a fantastic thing that happened during the season, and we just went on from there. You know,
what's an extraordinary story?
Yeah, sorry.
No, it really is. You know,
story.
fire engines, Jerry Springer. You know, it's operatic, really.
Well, you couldn't have planned it at the beginning of the season. Imagine. Yeah.
We have been joined by Jason Greenberg, the manager of the Hertfordshire Falcons, as well. Jason, welcome along.
Hi guys.
We've been hearing an overview from Aspie and David, that fantastic story about Jerry Springer. Now, yours is the biggest club in the country. It covers the whole of North West London, and we've been hearing about how baseball is starting to really flourish. What's your view of the situation where you sort of have your ear to the ground?
Well, I can speak to the state of baseball in that at Hearts, you know, we've seen incredible growth over the last few years. We've gone from having one team to 2 teams to 4 teams in the adult program, plus now a youth program. So we're trying to cover all the bases, and that's I think the youth story is kind of the untold success of baseball in this country. Just like with cricket and football and rugby, if you want to get kids playing it as adults, they have to be playing it at Little League level, you know, as kids. And it's great to see Essex now has a youth program as well. Richmond has a youth program. The London squad in Finsbury Park have a youth program. And it's nice to see local leagues set up where kids can really get involved, learn the game, and start playing. So that's the big success story.
One of the reasons why football is such a dominant sport all over the world is because it is so simple to play. But from that point of view, baseball can also capitalise on that. I mean, you say for football, you just need a football and a couple of sweaters and you've got your goalpost. But for baseball, you just need the ball in the bat and away you go. A couple of sweaters as well. And you can play the game. You can replicate it, can't you? Whereas cricket, rugby, other sports are quite difficult to replicate on park level. So what you're talking about at youth level, that's something that I'm sure you guys are keen to tap in on.
It is. Plus, I mean, also finding government funding for it, so that we can move away from that jumpers for bases concept.
But getting the interest in, I mean, though, and getting people
absolutely. It needs to be played in the schools, first and foremost. If you want kids to be involved in it, you have to have school participation. And we have a lot of partnerships at Hearts Baseball Club. We've been fortunate to team up with the Hearts County Sports Partnership, all the schools coordinators that we work with in the local level, so that, you know, we can go into schools, teach the game to some kids, and then hopefully they'll come out and keep playing it with our organization.
I mean, I think I owned a baseball bat before I owned a cricket bat. Don't ask me why, but that was the case. I had a baseball bat.
Because you want to be trusted as a child.
May I introduce BBC London's cricket correspondent as well? This is a man who covers Middlesex up and down the country.
Sadly, I can't remember why it changed, but it did, and I ended up going into cricket instead.
I'll tell you, one of our players, great guy, Dan Hollywood Carey, he's a cricket coach at Haberdasher Aske's School for Boys, and one of the best days I've ever had playing baseball was going and working with their first team cricket squad, teaching them how to throw overarm rather than sidearm so they could improve on their runouts over the year, and from all accounts, it helped. So I'd like to see a lot more baseball coaching being taken to cricket kids.
That is something they do. You really do see that. And Middlesex had a captain, Ed Smith, who wrote a lot of books about baseball. He was a massive baseball fan, and he was keen. He went across to the States a lot and got involved with training sessions with the baseball teams. So, it's definitely something that could be looked into, I'm sure.
So I suppose, in some respects, you'd see baseball and cricket as being sort of opposing, you know, summer sports, rival summer sports. But from the conversations we're having with you guys, and you know, Kevin as well, you're saying that the cricket world, you know, they get on very well with it. There's shared knowledge, I suppose. In actual fact, they can work quite well together in some respects. Is that fair, guys? Is it?
Absolutely. We're not competing with cricket. As Jason said, there are cricket players joining baseball clubs all the time, and they're playing both sports. I think England cricketer Mark Trescothick, I think it was last year or the year before, he had his testimonial game, and rather than playing cricket, he chose to play a baseball game against the Great Britain national team, and so it just proves that cricket and baseball do work very well together.
And that third sport as well that nobody ever mentions, rounders.
Oh, goodness me, yeah. There's another whole topic of conversation, that is. Gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind just staying there for 1 second, I'd like to speak a little about the Great Britain national team as well, and the way the league is structured as well, and, of course, how people can get involved. So don't go away. 4:30, here's Abby Lewis with the news headlines. Let's just return to our guests here talking baseball. Just a reminder of exactly who we're speaking to. I did have a list of your names and I'd momentarily mislaid it, but I've got it back now, so that was all smoothly. Aspie Dimitriov, the Southern Senior League Commissioner from the British Baseball Federation, David Sher, the General Manager of the Essex Arrows Baseball Club, and Jason Greenberg, the Manager of the Hertfordshire Falcons. Thank you for sticking around, guys. Aspie, can I just ask you about the GB national team, because they're preparing for the European Championships in 2010. How's that going? Where are they going to be, and you know, how well do you think we'll do?
Well, first of all, just to point out, the Great Britain national team are the reigning silver medalists. In 2007, they were amazing. They came second in Barcelona, and they're looking to kind of go back this summer. The European Championship will be in Germany, so they're looking to defend and maybe even do better than Barcelona. It will be difficult because, unlike any of the other nations, Great Britain does not get any government support. The national team gets no government support simply because baseball is not an Olympic sport. About 3 days after the London won the Olympics bid, there was an announcement that baseball will no longer be an Olympic sport. So we are relying on volunteers throughout the country who are absolutely amazing, trying to raise funding, organize the national team, and they're the reason for that success. And of course, very talented British players. So it's not going to be easy. We are struggling. As I said, we're at a major disadvantage compared to the other countries when it comes to funding. But hopefully we can put on a good team and they can perform well in Germany.
Hold that thought, Aspie. Let's pop to Wembley Arena, shall we? Master Snooker is getting underway today. For those that don't know, it's a non-ranking invitational event, but always has a big profile because of its history and prize money. Philip Studd is at the Wembley Arena.
So back to our guys in the studio then. We're joined by David, Aspie and Jason. Talking baseball, so for you guys, in terms of the managers, you're already thinking about the new season. How deep into it are you for the pre-season?
Yeah, well, we've got pre-season training starting shortly, beginning of February, and you know we're working now with the local council with the field preparation. Obviously, looking for players. So if there's anyone out there, experienced players who want to join a National League team for 2010, especially pitchers, please get in contact. And yeah, we're there.
Well, that was one of the things I was going to ask you. Talk about the players, and Jason mentioned the number of teams now that are involved. What are the attendances like for your first 11 match?
Do you mean fans, or
your first
do you mean
or
how many players
for the fans? For the fans,
we had about 400 fans come to the finals in August. So we cannot say that we're competing with the Premier League or rugby, but we do attract quite a good number of fans. But I think our strength is in offering playing opportunities. I think we'll all agree that playing a sport is much, much more enjoyable than watching it. So this is where we're really trying to market ourselves better. And just as David was saying, we're looking for players, any kind of standard, whether you're experienced or completely new to the game. There are opportunities out there. We have 4 leagues of different standard, and we're able to offer opportunities for anybody.